More moisture, your sweat doesn't evaporate, and you're suffering.
Speaking of high temperatures, on the almanac today, the record high temperature was 98 back in 1990.
1990, not all that long ago. We'd have to go even farther back for some of those triple-digit heat. But before we do that, of course, don't forget about flooding. Little rain showers in the area, nothing like it was in the Southwest.
Absolutely, and in the Southwest, they had record rainfall so far coming up thanks to Hurricane Norbert, or leftover remnants of Norbert.
Leftover, of course.
In the Eastern Pacific.
No winds with that, but just the rain and moisture. But to give us a heads up on the overview, we're going to send it out to Brandon, show you the trouble spots.
Thanks a lot, Pete. Today, like you all said earlier, mid-80s for us. The clouds really helped keep us cool today, keeping us a little more mild than normal. Granted, 85 is still pretty warm. On the low end, this morning we woke up to about 74, a little above our average and about as much below our average highs. For our headlines, though, storms are in the area. They'll be over mostly before 8 o'clock tomorrow. We can see more of that tomorrow morning, and then as those storms work their way northward, it's going to clear out. Now, taking a look at the radar, you can see how much moisture is really in the area, especially with all this cloud cover. Some thin rain that's not really popping up on this resolution of radar, keeping us cool and moisture in the area. Currently, 80 degrees with thunderstorms overhead. You can see how close that dew point is to our temperature. It's real muggy out there at the moment. And then it's 80 degrees with westerly winds, and then we're going to send it back to the jet desk now with Josh and Pete.
Hey, thank you very much, Brandon. So it looks like overnight showers, the bulk of this happening before 8 p.m. tonight, so just in time for your late night commute. If you're headed out from work late, or maybe those grad assignments for our grad students out there, looks like they're getting wet.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of rain, again, we'll go back to Arizona, back in the Southwest. They had 3.29 inches today alone.
Now for us, when we're used to all that tropical rain, might not seem like a lot, but for Arizona, that was the rainiest day in a 24-hour period, all the way back since 1933.
Now, if I can remember correctly, most areas in Florida, they get to see those rain totals near almost 6 inches sometimes of the record rainfall for one day.
I know it feels like that when you have those stationary sea breeze storms that don't move, especially enhanced by some of that tropical moisture, can really be a dousing. But Phoenix was really under the gun.
Which we kind of are under a light flow right now. And to explain more of that, we're going to hit it back to the wall with Paxton.
Well, thank you, Josh and Pete. Today we did have a high of 85 degrees, which is actually quite better than what we've been feeling these past couple of days with the highs into mid to upper 90s. So we did have a bit of a cool down due to the rain and to the clouds that lingered over our area today. But those will be leaving around 8 p.m. tonight, so we'll clear up and going into the later part of the week, specifically tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. And the average is usually 90, but like I said, the rain cooled us down. It is currently 80 degrees, thunderstormy, some rain, which we did experience throughout the day today, with just about one shower. The dew point is up there. It's a hot and muggy dew point of 73 degrees, and we do have a lot of humidity in our air, making for some bad hair days for us ladies out there. Locally, we do have some pop-up showers, sea breezes, and some rain due to the stationary front that is just north of our area, which will be retreating up north into tomorrow and into Wednesday morning, creating less humidity in our area and also lowering our chances of rain. There are some offshore showers in the southern portion of Florida, and there are a little bit of showers in our Big Bend area as well. But like I said, these will begin to clear up as the night progresses onward. So we do have a nice little low pressure system in the northeast, followed by a stationary front that has been here for the past couple of days, not really doing much except increasing our rain chances and bringing in that extra humidity, creating higher dew points and not making it a fun time to go outside. And this front will continue northward as the next couple of days move on. The chance of storms will be lingering around for tomorrow morning and a little bit tomorrow afternoon until the front does push northward, and that will create lower rain chances into Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning, making it less humid, better hair days, better temperature for it's just nice outside, better for your skin and all of that. Going into tonight's forecast, it is 72 degrees with scattered storms, probably ending around 8 p.m., give or take, and the winds they die down more and become more calm into our area. For tomorrow, it is 92. We have a 50% chance of rain. It's going to be warm, partly sunny. The storms will be in the earlier part of the day, clearing up again as we move into the morning hours. And like I said from before, the front will pull away those showers going into Wednesday. For the 7 days, we do have the highs into the low mid-90s, making it not pleasurable for us, and we do need some relief, and hopefully a cold front will be coming around, and these rain chances will die down Tuesday into Wednesday and into Thursday, and will increase for the weekend. What could you tell us about the southeast area, Josh?
Well, again, let's continue on that story from the desk, and we definitely had a lot of cloud cover today, and current conditions right now, we're still cloudy in Tallahassee. We had an isolated shower pop up over our area, and it was definitely a heavy downpour if you were out walking from class. I know I was out there, but just enough to stay dry. 77 right now in Tallahassee, 89 in Montgomery, so they got a little bit more sunshine over there. And we spread on over to Shreveport, 91 degrees, 88 in Little Rock, 76 in Savannah, where it is raining right now, and plenty of cloud cover to go along with it. Here's that radar overlaid on top of it. Savannah, definitely you can see a lot of rain in that area. Here we're just clearing out just enough, most of the rain to our west, over near Mariana, Pensacola, Crestview area. That's where most of the rain is mainly situated right now. A few showers along the sea breeze in Central Florida near Tampa, Lakeland area, a few heavy storms there as well, with you can expect lightning down there as well. Let's go up in the upper levels. Plenty of moisture here around our region across much of the Florida Peninsula, actually. The whole Florida Peninsula is really just a ton of moisture to go along with this, and it extends back up into South Carolina as well. Now, I don't know about you, but a few weeks ago, we were talking low dew points with that brisk northeast wind with dry air. That's long gone. We got plenty of moisture with the south wind. That's just not going to help our comfortable range the next few days. We might have a cold front late in the weekend, but we'll get that in just a little bit later on in the show. Here's what we got going on right now. We got that stationary front right here. We got plenty of moisture overlaid on top of that with the southerly wind, like I mentioned. We're going to have a good chance of rain tonight and going into tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. However, the front will eventually begin to move away as we head later into tomorrow and into tomorrow night. And Wednesday looks drier and actually a little bit less humid. So it should be much nicer on Wednesday compared to tonight and into tomorrow. So outdoor plans are definitely a go for Wednesday more than they are for tomorrow. As we head on in time for tonight, 73 degrees in Tallahassee, what we're calling for, 70 in Montgomery, 68 in Atlanta. I'm sure that feels really good. Hopefully there's some low dew points up there. 70 in Savannah, 71 in Wilmington, North Carolina, 76 in New Orleans. We switch over, 80 in Key West, 90 in Miami, 77 in Orlando. For tomorrow, 93 in Little Rock, 96 in Shreveport, 90 in Miami, 92 in Orlando, 93 in Tallahassee. You have to watch that temperature tomorrow. If we have less clouds, we'll definitely reach the lower 90s, even mid-90s tomorrow, but that all depends on the cloud cover. We could be in the upper 80s well again tomorrow if we have enough cloud cover. So again, 92 Montgomery, 88 in Atlanta. Pete, share some more with me, buddy. What else do we have going on?
On that big map, I see a lot of heat confined to the western regions with the moisture and the stationary front affecting those regions in Georgia, South Carolina, and of course northern Florida and Tallahassee.
And I mentioned sea breeze earlier, and we have this term in weather we call monsoon. It's kind of like a large-scale sea breeze.
Yes, many viewers are confused about monsoon, but it's basically a large-scale wind shift over a period of months, which does affect rainfall. You see this a lot in the southwestern United States, and also in India over Southeast Asia.
Absolutely, and Desert Southwest, is this really a monsoon season right now?
They always have a monsoon, however, it's weaker than normal, and that's due to the overall climate pattern. That's kind of brought them different rain showers, but for a better tour around the nation, we're going to send it on off to Ian with our national.
Yeah, hey, you guys got a little early preview of me, didn't you? But looking around the nation, we are having some pretty good temperatures. The temperatures were capped a little bit lower in the highs for much of the area, especially in the southeast. You can see currently right now clouds. There's clouds everywhere, all the way up to Atlanta, down to Miami. Very cloudy outside right now. Temperatures are rather moderate. We have 88 up in Memphis, but looking up in the northeast, you can see here 74 degrees in Washington, 65 in Boston. So starting to see those cooler fall temperatures. We're getting there, guys. And into the west, you can see temperatures also very nice and cool. 67 in Seattle, 88 in Billings. So temperatures are starting to fizzle down for the most part as we're starting to transition into the fall close. But for the UV index, didn't really depend on, it didn't really affect us much today. We had a lot of cloud cover, so really for the southeast, you can see high values, but with those clouds out there, wasn't really too much of an impact for you there. North areas had a little bit lower of index, but didn't really have to worry about that. Satellite right now shows we have a nice stationary front here over much of the southeast. You can see here right over on top of us pretty much, but as you're looking towards the west of us, you can see on the western part of the United States, they have a nice low pressure system that's starting to move up, and a little peek preview up in the northwest of a cold front that could be making an impact on us later on next weekend, bringing some cooler temps. For the rain right now, in the west, there's that low. You can see all that rain associated with that. For us here, plenty of rain. There's rain ranging all the way down from Miami up into Washington, D.C. So you can see definitely a clear line of this stationary front. But we are expecting this front to move further towards the north out of the Panhandle area. But for the most part, bringing us rain for tonight into tomorrow morning. Here's a closer view of that satellite. You can see the showers kind of dissipating. Most of these showers will be dissipating along Panhandle, but they will be pushing up towards the north, affecting areas into the night. So definitely a good amount of rain for you there along the southeast. Up in the northeast, much quieter. Behind that stationary front, look at all this clear skies. So very nice weather for areas behind the stationary front. But for us, unfortunately, here we're dealing with a lot of rain for the time being. And for the Pacific Northwest, you can see that's cold front. That's going to be making its way towards us into later in the next week. So expect that to bring the temperatures down a little bit cooler. But we're going to take it back to the desk for you there with more. Oh, we're going to local to Brandon. Going to local to Brandon.
Thanks a lot, Ian. Keeping us with our weather headlines here. Revisiting that from earlier. Again, showers, mostly ending before 8. Chance of morning storms in the morning and then once the stationary front retreats northward, it's going to clear out behind it. Once again, 85 today was our high. Didn't reach 90 because we were insulated by the cloud cover. Sun couldn't quite penetrate. Sitting currently around the map though, 77 here in Tallahassee, 82 St. Mark's, a little cooler as you work your way north, 77 in Bainbridge and Thomasville. Dew point, very close to the current temperatures, 73 here at home, really high along the coast at St. Mark's at 80 degrees. Again, that's just to reemphasize how humid it is at the moment. Satellite and radar, nothing too much to see, an occasional sprinkle or two, but very, very cloudy, and that's what helped keep our temperatures down earlier today. Now, looking a little farther into the future, the storm's ending tonight around 8 o'clock. Chance of morning storms then that stationary front lifts northward. It's going to bring in drier air, lower dew points, and keep us much, much less humid and much more pleasant for that matter. And then as Wednesday continues, high pressure is going to build in behind it. It's going to really reinforce that nice weather until our next system approaches around Friday. In the more short term though, tonight 72 here at home in Tallahassee. Pretty much across the board for that matter, 72 as well in St. Mark's, 73 in Caribou, a little warmer on the coast in Apalachicola at 74. Now, early showers in the morning tomorrow, and then warming up to highs of 92 here at home in Tallahassee. Same in Quincy, around the same in Monticello and St. Mark's at 91. If you do make it out to the beach tomorrow, should be a good day. Just make sure you put that sunscreen on, UV index of 11 and surf around 1 to 2 feet. Similarly, for the boats, for your boating forecast, smooth the light chop. Should be a decent day out there. Sunrise 7:20 and setting at about 12 hours later at 7:42. Now for your 7-day, spreading it out, 50% chance of rain. 50% chance of rain tomorrow. That's mostly early though, and then it pretty much moderates out throughout the rest of the week, sticking in the upper 90s and mid 70s throughout the time. And then our next system we anticipate coming through in the weekend, raising our chances up around 50% or so. And then let's go ahead and send it back to the desk with Daniel and Paxton.
Why, thank you, Brandon. Well, it is hot and humid down here in South Florida and in the Big Bend area of northern Florida. There is something menacing up in the northwest.
Well, what do we got there, Paxton? It looks like we got snow coming down from Canada already, and it's still summer. We're going to have some areas that are going to be snowed on, and we're not even quite to fall, right?
No, not at all. We're going to right into mid-September, and some of these northern areas of the United States will be getting some snow and even some potential sleet as well. And while we're stuck down here in Florida with the hot, humid rain, I'm sure we'd much rather be up there with the cold, some relief.
Yeah, well, that sounds just a little bit too cold for me, honestly. I mean, I like summer a lot, but having snow this early really doesn't, do it for me. I'm more of a guy. I think I'd rather have these 90-degree temperatures than be stuck in that,
I'd much rather have the cold, but we all can't win, can we?
Yeah, well, you know who does win? People in Florida, and that's why we're going to go ahead and take a look around our area right now. You look at our current conditions, we have 77 right now in Tallahassee, but we are still seeing those thunderstorms. As we look a little bit south, they are just a little bit warmer down there, like Miami, West Palm Beach, both seeing 87. Key West, 87 also. So we're looking right around just in the 80s for all of our area here. Go ahead, though, and move on to our humidity. You see that we have 88 in Tallahassee, really close to our temperature, which goes along with the rain. And if you look further to south where we're not seeing as much rain, it's a lot lower there. You see 59 in Miami, and they were seeing those temperatures in the low 80s. So they could have a chance of rain, but for right now, they're looking pretty good there. And for our radar, we're going to go look at Pensacola-Tallahassee region. First, over in Tallahassee, you see those spotted showers over there. And to the north of us, there's a lot of red. So you're seeing lots of heavy rain over there. And looking over to the west in Pensacola, looks like it's starting to move out of that area, the front, and it'll be going north into Alabama from there. So we're going to go ahead, though, and look into Central Florida and Jacksonville area. Jacksonville is another spot that's getting hammered right now with rain. You're seeing all that red around there, and down here in Gainesville and Ocala getting some rain. Of course, in Gainesville, it can rain there all the time. I mean, we don't really care much about there, right? And we're going to go ahead, though. Look on Miami. Like I was saying, how they had a lower humidity down there. They're not seeing too much rain. Naples, however, is another spot that's really seeing some rain. If you see, if it comes back around to earlier this afternoon, they had a lot of red over there. So all around the state, seeing really heavy rain conditions. And so this will continue over the next day or so, and probably even the next week for our area. Going to go ahead, though, and look at what this front's going to do with us. The storms are going to end right around 8 p.m. our time, and we have the stationary front, so it's really not going to move too terribly much. We still have those chance of storms in the early a.m. tomorrow, but probably by tomorrow night when we're going to see those storms probably start to back off just a little bit. If you see this front's going to go ahead and go up into Alabama and Georgia there by tomorrow night, it'll be a lot less humid, so that's really nice for us instead of seeing these really, really humid conditions we have right now. And then, so for tonight's forecast, we have low is 73, but like I was saying, it's still going to be pretty humid for tonight. It'll probably feel around 80 degrees if you're still out then. Same thing from Pensacola to Jacksonville. It's still going to feel a lot warmer than 72 or 74. And it's always that way for South Florida. You see Miami at 79 for tonight's low. So it's still all around the state's going to feel a lot warmer than what it's saying for tonight's low. Tomorrow, not a whole lot's going to change there. You see, we still have that rain coming through. High of 93, and same thing all around the area. You see that front's already going to back off of Pensacola, and by the afternoon, we should be all clear there. And for the south, they're all clear, sitting right around 90 all around South Florida. And middle, Tampa and Orlando, both sit at 92. Still going to have storms, and so that's no fun for them either. But for now, we're going to send it back over to Ian, and he's going to show us what else is going on.
All right, we're looking into the tropics right now. We have a tropical update for you. Now, with the tropics right now, not a whole lot is really going on, so not too much to really delve into. But we're going to take a look at what hurricanes and tropical storms we've had already. We can see we've had Artha, Bertha, Cristobal, Dolly, and Eduard. Eduard is going to be the next potentially named storm. So we'll be paying attention to that in the tropics and looking out for that. But we still have a whole list here. So no 2004 or 5. So hopefully keeping with these on the lower end of the list. But you can see for the hurricane climatology, this is where we can expect hurricanes to form at this time of the year. So into September, you can see off the coast of Africa, you have a large scale of thunderstorms that become pretty much collected, and they build up, and then they push off towards the west along the high pressure system in the Atlantic, and then into the Gulf and Caribbean. And then it pretty much takes multiple routes, but what we're concerned here is the one that's going towards the Gulf. So this is what we're paying attention to right now, nothing really to talk about. We have a small system here off the coast of Africa, which the National Hurricane Center is monitoring it right now just for the potential for it to form into something. Right now, it's about 60% chance under 5 days. So right now, there's really no reason to be concerned, but we will be continuing to monitor this storm and any storms for that matter that may potentially form into a hurricane. Back here in the Caribbean, relatively quiet in terms of development, not really a whole lot. You can see in the Gulf, there's some convective activity here. There's that stationary front over us, but really nothing to speak of there. Now the water vapor map, this is what's showing you all of that moisture that we have in the upper levels. You can see pretty much all over the panhandle of Florida, we have some form of precipitation. There's a lot of potential moisture there for a good amount of rain. So as long as stationary front is here, it will continue to drive up that moisture from the south right on top of us. You can see this cold front is going to continue to move off towards the north for the tri-state area and won't really be making an impact on us here. After tomorrow, we'll have some moisture available, but this cold front will continue to push towards the north, going the opposite direction of what you expect. But we're not into that part of the season yet with those cold fronts swooping down towards the southeast. But for now, this cold front will continue to push off towards the north. Temperatures right now are rather moderate. We have 77 in Tallahassee, 82 in Panama City. We have some 81 in Albany. We're 89 behind this cold front in Montgomery with those clear skies. That's where they allowed that temperature to get up there. But for much of us in Florida, we can see temperatures were capped by all that cloud cover we have from that cold front. So 73 in Valdosta, 75 in Savannah. So rather moderate temperatures over the area that we're covered with clouds and warmer temperatures elsewhere. For tonight's forecast, 71 degrees for Valdosta, 72 in Albany. Rather cool temperatures for the most part. And for tomorrow, it's looking rather warm. Another good chance of rain early on in the day. But we're going to send it back to the desk for more. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ian. Well, you know, it's raining here, but it's not quite flooding like it has been, like Pete and Josh said it was flooding in Phoenix.
Yes.
We're also having flooding in Richmond right now, which is affecting some NASCAR races, correct?
That is. There has been significant flooding, specifically in the Richmond area, and there is a racetrack there, and the car tunnels have been flooding with water. So those cars have been lifted up onto jacks because those are something you don't want to destroy because they are quite expensive.
Yeah, I've heard they're really expensive, and they're also very low to the ground. I've noticed those cars, aren't they?
Yeah, they
That's
are.
why they need to be up on jacks. So,
Yeah.
Paxton, what else can we do to help flooding in our area, just in case there's a flood? I know we have lots of hills, so there's going to be a lot of runoff and such like that. So what can we do about flooding here?
Usually, if there is flooding in your area, you just kind of just want to get to higher ground, go inside. You don't want to risk your car flooding out, being swept down the roadways. You don't want to be struck by lightning if there's lightning in the area. So it's just better to be safe.
Okay, that's
Sorry.
good. Well, for right now, we're going to send it off to real live meteorologist Pete De La Grata for a look at our local.
A real-life meteorologist. Now I have to live up to this. All right, guys, well, let's take you through it. Today's almanac, what you're looking at here is rainfall. And while it's only 0.03 of an inch so far in Tallahassee, we're expecting a little bit more tonight. So if you have that commute, say from 7 p.m. to 8, even 8:30, we have showers in the area. Can't rule out, of course, Killarn Estates, farther north of Tallahassee. They're getting in on the rain. So it looks like that moisture's sticking around for at least an hour or two the rest of this evening. Now, this is in result. You see the satellite image? All this is coming from south to north, so we have this onshore flow funneling in or trucking in this moisture, and there's an ample supply because all from the Gulf of Mexico northward, that's covering our area. And just to the north of us, as was mentioned earlier, is that stationary front, which is also causing a mechanism of lift. So anytime you have rising air, there's a good chance for showers and storms, and we do see that. Here's a local radar. Bainbridge, Georgia, northward, they had showers earlier. They're faded on away. But St. Mark's having in on the action. All this is moving from the southwest to the northeast. It's going to continue for the next hour or so, although you do see some of that green behind me just fading out on that last image. So good news, of course, for those commuters overnight. Now, storms will be ending, but this stationary front's going to stick around a bit. That's a stationary front, doesn't move all that much. And through the period, as I set this into motion, kind of sags farther southward, gives us a chance of storms in the AM, but by the time we get into the afternoon, you're going to see that sun peak out. We'll be back in the 90s, so not as cool as it was today. Back to 90s, probably about a 50% chance of rainfall. Majority of that being in the morning, but we can't rule out an afternoon shower or storm as well. Into the period, that begins to lift on to the north. Less humid air settles in behind this front. So again, warmer temperatures, a little less humid, less muggy, and less cloud cover. So if you do get a chance to go off to the beach, it might not be a bad day, of course. Don't neglect those studies, Knowles. We'll move on ahead, though. Just with that future cast, put it fully into motion. before we get into our current temperatures. Right around the area, 70s dominate. Anywhere there it rained, like Thomasville, Tallahassee, and Bainbridge, checking in the double sevens. St. Mark's, 84, and also upper 70s down there on the coast. Carabel and Apalachicola. Heat index, not a story. I know triple-digit heat is what we felt earlier, especially when I was moving furniture, but not tonight. Heat index, not a story for the Knolls. Overnight tonight, low 70s. We have that all across the board from Bainbridge, St. Mark's, Tallahassee, Monticello, checking in at 72. A little bit warmer at the coast as we have a southerly flow, keeping a little bit more moisture, and a little bit of moist air keeps our temperatures up by a couple degrees. Tomorrow's forecast, we're turning on those 90s again. Storms earlier in the day, put that at 50% chance, but that southerly flow is going to turn over to the west as you see that begin to dominate the flow. Over your 7-day forecast, we look ahead. Rain chances begin to die down, as do those temperatures. Looks like we even may flirt with some upper 80s later on, but hey, back at the desk, I don't know how you feel about a little bit of cooling conditions coming up.
A little bit of cooling is always nice, but you know, we still have a little bit of rain for the rest of our week, don't we?
We do, specifically due to that stationary front that will remain in our area up until tomorrow night and into Wednesday morning. So bring those umbrellas and rain boots for tomorrow.
Yeah, we're still going to have rain tonight, probably up until 8 p.m. like you've seen all show, and that should start up again in the early morning hours. So when you wake up, make sure to get ready for that, just like Paxton said.
Exactly. And that sunshine will be returning again Wednesday afternoon, so we could be our bright and happy selves again. But instead of these gloomy conditions that we are unfortunately stuck with for probably another day or so.
Yeah, that's not really a whole lot of fun when it gets like this. It looks like it's going to be like that for the rest of the week. If you see, look at our 7-day forecast, you see cloudy and storms all through the week, and we're going to be hanging right around low 90s for that. So not a whole lot of variation in that, do we?
Not at all. And those rain chances are still there. They do lower the next couple of days. But guys, just stay dry out there. Like us on Facebook, Twitter. Watch us again at 11 o'clock tonight. You just love our beautiful faces.
Yeah, and check us out at livestream.com/FSU weather. And thanks for watching our show today. We had a lot of fun. This was much as far as first day back. And it was real nice to have Pete here, you know, real life meteorologist, right?
It is. We missed him dearly.
Yes, very much. Have a great night, everybody.
And see you tomorrow.